budget insurance. Affordable because you can't afford not to.
Hello and welcome to the Audi RS6 Avant, the brand new one. Very excited, been dying to get my hands on this car. Always been a fan of the RS6 Avant. I think it is a fantastic formula for a very fast and unnecessarily fast family car. I really like it, I really do. But have they got it right for this generation? Have they created a new and improved formula? That's what they put on like dishwashing liquid, you know, new and improved, new and improved. So, is this the new and improved Audi RS6? Let's find out. All right, well, there's absolutely no shortage of power here. Twin turbo V8, 441 kilowatts, 800 Newton meters of torque. Now, let's put that in perspective, because I mean, it's just numbers, and if you're watching and you're not a complete car nerd, and kilowatts just sounds like something a microwave does. So, in 2001, the very last Lamborghini Diablo went on sale. It had a 6-liter V12 engine, admittedly with no turbochargers, but it was still a Lamborghini named after the devil himself. And so you would think, yes, this is a very powerful car, and you would be right. But this car has more power and more torque than a Lamborghini Diablo. Yes, you can now buy a station wagon with more power and more torque than a V12 Lamborghini. This is an extremely powerful car. And that has led me to question a few things, to question my own reality, to question everything. I'm getting very philosophical here, but let me explain. So climbing into a car with 600 PSs and 800 Newton meters of torque, you would think, goodness me, am I in for a ride here? Am I in for a leery, hairy, scary experience? Well, the answer is kind of no, you're not really. And that's the thing. I don't know what's more impressive, the fact that Audi have managed to make such a powerful car, or the fact that they've managed to tame it so well. That's kind of blowing my mind a little bit here. But of course, this car's party trick is traction off the line. And I'm happy to report that unlike a BMW, it's very, very easy to launch. So you put it in RS mode, you make sure that's in sport, and then you put your left foot on the brake and your right foot on the accelerator, and launch control program activated. Here we go, 3, 2, 1. Whee! 80, 90, there's 100 already, 120, 130, 140. This is absolutely flying. 160, 180, let's tap off there. Good thing I'm on a runway. Goodness me, how fast was that? Yeah, this thing is bonkers off the line. Audi claims 0 to 100 in 3.6 seconds. I think it's actually a little bit faster than that. Righty, next test. Let's go do some cornering. Down to 4th gear. Now, not too many corners out on the runway, but I can use some of the access roads and just make sure there's no planes taxiing around that want to take off. 3rd, down into 2nd. Kind of wish I had a little bit more exhaust note there, but here's a nice left-hander. Let's see how the Quattro system behaves. Yeah, you can get on the power super early and just hammer it out the other side. Gosh, in the real world, this car would absolutely eat things like rear-wheel drive Ferraris, that sort of thing, because you just can get on the power so much earlier. But it all just feels very under control all the time. And maybe that's what Audi were going for, you know, can't fault them for that. But I was kind of expecting this to be a bit scarier, and it just isn't. So I wanted to give you a tour of the interior, and it's lovely. I mean, it really is. It's a good looking interior, this, but it looks like every other Audi interior in their top models, and that's because it is. They just obviously designed one and then, you know, shifted around all the models pretty much. I think they've done enough here to make it look a little bit special. I like this sort of naked carbon weave on the top there and on the doors. Nice Alcantara on the doors as well. But it does raise an issue I have with modern special car models, is that the interior to me often doesn't feel special enough. I would like some, I don't know, just something to make me feel like I'm driving something quite special. You know, RS actually stands for really special. No, it doesn't. I just made that up now, but it should. And it should be reflected in the interior, in my opinion. And I don't design cars. I don't know what I would add, to be honest, but that's not my job. I'm just here to criticize. But another thing I wanted to take you through was the options list for this particular unit. So yeah, how much time do you have? Let me try and summarize. So the price as standard for this car is 2.07 million rand. Price as tested, 2.43 million rand. So Audi South Africa shoved, what's that, about 360,000 rands worth of options into this car. And I'm not going to go through all of them. It's going to take forever. But one of them which I wanted to highlight is the RS Dynamic package at 90,000 rand. Now that struck me as being quite weird. Why do you need to pay 90,000 rand for something called the RS Dynamic package? Isn't this a dynamic RS car? So I messaged Audi and they got back to me with this. The RS Dynamic package bundles the following equipment together: dynamic all-wheel steering, which is quite interesting, quattro system with sports differential, and an increase of the top speed to 280 kilometers an hour. And the sport differential basically refers to a classic rear axle differential, but which has been expanded to include two superimposed units with electronically controlled multi-plate clutches. I kind of feel like all of that should just be standard, maybe, just me. So working underneath me here is obviously all-wheel drive with the center differential, and at the back I've got Audi's new sports differential, which differs from a classic differential in that it has a multi-plate clutch, so it can vary the speed a little bit more between wheels and a little bit quicker as well. And what that means is that the car is pretty much always in control of all of the power and torque that you can muster from this 4-liter engine. And that's fine, that's good. In normal day-to-day driving, especially in the wet, that is definitely what you want from your car. This car, even though it's riding on 22-inch wheels, it is incredibly comfortable out on the freeway. I mean, it's just brilliant at eating up the miles. And I think that's very impressive. I think Audi have done a fantastic job there, actually, of striking a compromise between sporty handling and comfortable handling. It's something they don't always get right, but I think they've nailed it on this particular car. And there's a bit more science that's gone into the cruising ability of this car as well, because this is a mild hybrid, an MHEV. So it's got a 48-volt system separate from the rest of the car's electronics. It's got a separate lithium-ion battery. It's got a special starter motor which can recoup energy while you're decelerating. Charges up the battery, and that means that at certain speeds, at certain highway speeds, it can go into coast mode where it'll actually switch off the engine. You won't be burning any petrol at all, and that is pretty impressive. And on top of that, there's cylinder deactivation, so it'll go down to 4 cylinders and then it will use a lot less fuel too. So let me try and give you some sort of conclusion here. I've driven this car back to back with the E63S AMG, and this car, list price is about 400,000 rand cheaper than the Merc. It comes in at 2.07 million, and it feels immensely more interesting, better made, better appointed, better quality materials than the Merc does. It looks a lot more special from the outside. In fact, I'm starting to think that you'd have to have rocks in your head to spend an extra 400,000 rand on that Merc when this is an option. And that's quite interesting to me. because you almost think, well, a 2 million rand Audi wagon is quite an expensive thing, but relative to the competition, in my opinion, this is actually a bit of a bargain. However, as we've gone over that options list together, and you've seen how much you can add to a car like this, I mean, Audi South Africa added a good 400,000 rand worth of options. I do think that's a little bit cheeky. I think for a top spec model like this, it should pretty much come with all the bells and whistles. I'm not sure why you have to buy an RS dynamic package if you've bought a car called the RS6. I mean, that just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. That aside though, I definitely think this is one of the best modern performance cars that you can buy right now. It just does everything well. It's a sort of car that you could happily daily, and then if you do get an opportunity to take it to a track, you will have a fun and safe experience. And of course, that's very, very important. It's very important to go home in one piece. So if you do have 2 million rand lying around and you do want an Audi RS6, then yeah, I'd recommend this. Go for it. I don't think you'll be disappointed at all. Just don't expect to be scared by it. Thanks very much for watching. If you've just watched this video but you haven't yet subscribed to our channel, you absolutely should do that immediately right now. Click the subscribe button. It's a good idea for a bunch of reasons which I actually don't have really a lot of time to go into, but it's good. It's a good idea. Excellent. Thanks for watching. I said that already.
Budget insurance. Affordable because you can't afford not to.